Hi guys, it's Ahsante. So I wanted to jump in on this YouTube culture discussion that's going on. So the videos that have inspired this one, besides Louise's of course, are Karen Cavitt's response and Vicky the Pixie's response. If you haven't seen those videos, I will link them. You should definitely check them out. So I think a lot of great things have already been said. Compared to a lot of people, I have a very small channel. But I think it's great that I've already seen actually people with smaller channels of less than 100 or only a couple of hundred subscribers weighing in and chiming in on this and making videos. You don't have to be famous or have a lot of followers to be considered a YouTuber, and I think that's one of the great things about this platform. And as for idolizing people, I think we take idolization kind of far sometimes, and as a Christian, there's a certain limit that you have to have. I kind of grew up with that mentality of you don't idolize things, you don't worship anything besides God. I think it really is okay to look up to YouTubers and admire YouTubers as people, not because the front that they present and the things that they're doing are most often a reflection of their actual selves and their actual life, albeit an edited one. Someone doesn't have to be a perfect person in order to be a role model, because perfect people don't exist, right? If your standard is you're only going to look up to perfect people, you will be looking a long time. I have friends I look up to. I have fellow students who I look up to and admire and want to be more like them. And, you want to be like someone because of certain characteristics that they have. I look up to Shameless Maya because she has excellent fashion sense, she's tech savvy, she's an artist, she has her ish together health-wise. These are things that are admirable, regardless of whether she has her entire life together or not. Yes, YouTubers choose their backgrounds and choose what they're going to put on and edit out what they say wrong, but at the end of the day, it's still them in front of the camera. For the most part, and there are exceptions, but for the most part, YouTubers aren't putting on a character, per se, when they come and do their videos or their vlogs. A lot of times they're just showcasing their own life, and this is them. It's a fraction of them, but do you really know anyone completely? How much of you do I have to know in order to say that I know you? Think about it. Even if you've been living with your parents your entire life, you've known them your entire life, they raised you. You've known them your entire life, but you don't know their entire life. There are things that they did years before you were even born that you don't know about and probably won't know about. So, we all know people in certain capacities. You will know people from school, you'll know people from seeing them in the neighborhood, you'll know people from seeing them at parties. And when you see someone at a party, you see their party face. They have on their facade, they're charming, they smell nice, and you know them in that context. It's hard to know someone in all of their contexts. So just because I don't know what you look like when you roll out of bed doesn't mean that I don't know you. Furthermore, people wear different fronts. People put on slightly different demeanors. You wouldn't talk to your grandmother the same way you'd talk to your best friend growing up, and you wouldn't talk to your best friend the same way you'd talk to a toddler that you didn't know. So there are different sides to our personalities. Even though I only know the side of a YouTuber that they choose to present, I still know that side, and that is a part of their personality as a whole. The content that I decide to put up here reflects my opinions, the shirt reflects my style, the background reflects my taste. You put a lot of yourself into your art. I can't really separate the two like that. You can't really separate Ahsante the Artist, the YouTuber, from Ahsante, because Ahsante is Ahsante the Artist. I think the reason why you're able to make friends over the internet is because even though it's limited, you do still get to know people. I think in that way there is a closer relationship between a viewer or a fan and a star. And you're able to get a much closer look into people's lives than you're able to for a lot of people who are more distant celebrities. And I guess that segues into the fact that YouTubers, for the most part, are just normal people. I think the reason why people hesitate to call them celebrities is because they're really not celebrities in the traditional sense of the term. You know, typically people become celebrities because they have some really great talent that they've been able to do a lot of movies, they've acted in a lot of things, or they've sold a lot of records, something like that. Whereas on YouTube, their celebrity isn't coming from the fact that they're a renowned filmmaker, it's coming from their personality. People are able to achieve notoriety based on their style, based on their flair, based on their personal knowledge and wisdom that they've accrued over the years, or based on just showing people their everyday life. So yes, I think people realize that YouTubers are everyday people, and that's what makes them all the more attractive, I think. Like Steven Spielberg, right? Like, it would take so many years and so many opportunities to amount to that level of prestige and notoriety and talent. Whereas with a lot of YouTubers, what they did was pick up a camera and start being themselves and saying what's on their mind. So as far as looking up to say what is attainable for me, YouTubing and the life that YouTubers have seems a lot more attainable a lot of the times than the life that these grand celebrities have. YouTubers are all the more attractive because they're just like you. They are everyday people, and you could see yourself just being their friend. They very well could be the girl next door or the guy next door, which makes it that much easier to compare yourself to them and to long after them and to want to be them. And honestly, I feel like some of that longing is okay. Part of the beauty of YouTube is that you can make internet friends. Some of the barrier between the star and the fan is crossed in the comment section and in the video responses. And having casual park meetups like Shameless Maya does, like, oh, if she came to DC, I would be there in a hot second. And if you do it right, then you do get to mix with the other, fans and people who really like this YouTuber's work. Video responses from people who are typically just fans are encouraged, and it gets them talking, it gets them creating. And y'all know I'm all about creativity. I feel more likely to be able to connect with Shameless Maya than I would to Kim Kardashian. Not that I'd want to connect with Kim Kardashian, but I think that this YouTube mechanism is more conducive to developing friendships. And, people have said that they have developed friendships over YouTube, and so it is possible to get beyond that interaction of an awkward selfie. Like the celebrity kind of. Through that interaction of YouTube, we're able to move past that and potentially develop relationships. Of course, with thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of followers, you can't have a relationship with every person. Maintaining a relationship takes dedication and commitment from both parties involved. So if either party is not on board with it, the relationship isn't going to happen. So from the perspective of a fan, there are some of us who would prefer actual interaction and conversation to a cool picture to post on their Facebook wall. And I think the closer that we can get to those quality interactions, the better. Well, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.